to Slow and Steady, the podcast where you get to follow along as we build products in public. Each week, we'll give you an honest peek into our lives as we share our struggles, our wins, and everything in between. I am Benedicte, and I am feeling successful.
And I'm Benedikt. Today is May 31st. This is episode number 141, and I'm feeling okay.
And European
But you're
okay.
feeling successful.
But you're feeling
okay. Yeah.
European okay. Since
Okay,
we don't tend to exaggerate. I am feeling successful because since last time we got the gig, the proposal I talked about. So Ola and I,
congratulations.
And the gig is for Cloudinary. So Ola and I are responsible for getting their 2 plugins kind of up to date and bug free by the summer. So that's what I've been working on. Yes.
That's
so fun.
A big name customer.
It is. It's like, yeah, I know. It's like, oh, I'm feeling kind of, doing this thing now.
Like put a logo on the website, get a testimonial, and write a case study.
And boom. Boom.
No, seriously, you should do all of that eventually. I mean, maybe not now, but before you wrap this up.
We'll definitely do that. And we're going to meet both of the people we're in contact with at a conference in Norway at the end of the month. Or not the end of this month, but the end of June, which I guess is this month for the people listening.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yes. But so that's going to be fun. So we can have some fun photos, even, the way we like it, not so like super profesh, more like, we're just all people working in tech, doing our best. So so that has been really fun. And it's not a greenfield project. They already have 2 plugins, and the big one was actually started on by Jason Lengstorff, who's now the developer experience manager, boss, something of Netlify. So I'm kind of taking over his code. And then there was a community plugin. So we're kind of moving them under the Cloudinary brand, and then we're going to upgrade them, especially for Gatsby 4, of course, because there were some like breaking things in how the content nodes kind of connected together in Gatsby version 4 that deprecated some things that have been working in version 3, but were deprecated in version 3, but still kind of worked. Yeah. So now they've gotten reports that it's not working anymore, and then we're also upgrading it for the new, well, not that new anymore, but the newest Gatsby image plugin or plugin image. So that's been fun because I gotten to go like this is like really, especially like the image stuff and like connecting the nodes, and it's like it's kind of advanced stuff, or at least like down there in the weeds.
Yeah.
And I love that. Yeah, the fun stuff. Exactly. Well, it depends on what you think is fun, Pat. I even get to like dig through like Gatsby code and like see how they've solved it in their Sharp plugin, which is kind of how they handle local files, and to make it work as similar as possible, just with the images being on Cloudinary. So lots of fun, lots of juicy stuff to sink my teeth into. Yeah. And then also we are in talks with another person who started thinking about, maybe they need a Gatsby plugin for their service, and then it would be more of a greenfield project, like making the plugin from scratch. So that could also be fun if that comes to fruition. But I mean, there's only a month left before the summer, so I'm guessing I'm just going to keep having these conversations, and then hopefully our fall is going to be super packed. So I'll have to be really mindful of taking the summer holiday that I'm planning to take. We'll see how that goes. I'm taking it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to do it. And then I have a little rant because all of these services, and also, Gatsby, if you have any issues, they like all assume that you're one of the beginners, and they're like, go into the like Discord or the Slack. And I'm like, it's not a support system. I get so frustrated, and especially with Discord, I just feel very old. Like I go in there and things are just like, I don't know. Things are just like flying past me, and I'm like, what? Like I cannot. It's not structured at all. So
Yes.
yeah. It's just, I don't know why can't they just have like, ticketing system and then just put the people who are not paying on like a slower response instead of sending everyone into these like at least Netlify has a forum. So if you're not paying, you
Yeah.
get to ask questions in the forum, and you can go back and check on your forum post, which is like alive. And also I found a lot of answers in that support forum because people have the same issues. But try to search for an answer on Discord, I tell you, oh boy. You don't find anything. So
chat is great for real-time collaboration, but it's not great as a knowledge storage system.
And also for like sometimes, especially so that the like how this came up is that Gatsby released something for their serverless functions that let us access all our. I'm not the only Gatsby developer out there, but lets us grab the raw version of the body, and that's needed if you're going to do verification with Stripe. If you want to verify the event coming in, like a signature check. And I know that Discord also does it this way, so you need access to the raw body, and they didn't have that in their first release of serverless functions. They parsed it as JSON for you, which I actually really enjoy, so you don't have to do that yourself all the time, but then sometimes you need that raw body. And they released a version now a couple of weeks back where you were supposed to get the raw body, and I was like, yes, like now I can use my Gatsby functions also for signature verification, and that will make the one kind of chapter in my Smashing Magazine article void, so I can only write like a sentence instead, which is really nice. So I was like, okay, I'm going to test this out. I'm going to push out in an email letting everybody know it's out there and we can start using it. And then it didn't work in develop. And one of the really good things about serverless functions by Gatsby is that it works really nice in this like develop setup. You don't have to set up anything else. So I was like asking, and it's like talking into a void. But then I made some noise, and then suddenly I was getting answers, and also the framework team was like, hey, you want to talk? So yesterday we talked, and it's a bug in develop, and but they have had like a hack that I could do to make it work, and then they're gonna fix it. So good stuff. But I don't know, it's starting, like I hope they start. I don't know if these services do that. It's not just Gatsby, but if they could like write up because when I find an issue, it's usually a bug. So I don't need them to send, like I do this as a service to the people. Like I found a bug, like trying to file a proper bug report. And then you're like, go to Discord and talk to some people. I'm like, no, I'm trying to help you out here with a bug. And it's like, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not, just somebody testing this out. Like I've actually, anyway, that's my rant. I prefaced it with a rant. Don't send me to Discord. Yes. I'm gray-haired and old. At least send me to a forum or answer my bug reports in your GitHub repository. That would also be nice. But anyway, so where was I? Yes, working on the Cloudinary plugin, but not as much as you would think, because I don't know how it is in your country, but in Norway, there are no full weeks left. Or there hasn't been any full work weeks. So because we had 17th of May, which we spoke about 2 weeks ago, and then last week Thursday and Friday was off because Thursday was a bank holiday, and then in Norway there's the concept of squeezed in day, which is like nobody works on the Friday since it's squeezed in there. Everybody goes to their cabin or go somewhere. Anyway, so we lost 2 days last week, and then I guess this week is a full week, but then Monday is off again.
Yeah, same here. Here.
So, but we actually, not that I mean, like, you don't have to make every, bank holiday productive. But on Thursday, Sanity, the headless CMS, had a conference. Structured Content was the name of the conference, and they had a watch party in Oslo. So since Thursday was, a non-working day or a bank holiday, whatever we call it, we went to the conference, the whole family, which was really nice. They had food, free food again. Been missing that.
Yeah.
And massage chairs. Oh my god, nobody dared use them, so I kind of just stayed in one of them for the whole, because you could be in them while watching the conference or watching the television they had set up. So nice. Yeah, but it was a good conference. Yeah,
that sounds cool.
Yes, and I thought about something you said, because it's funny because they call it structured content, which is kind of the thing with headless CMS, I guess, that is different from a lot of the regular CMS, and that also has the page creation or the site creation in there, is that you can model your data or your content kind of like we do model our data. And it was really interesting to hear them talk about all the same things that we talk about with modeling data. It's if you get it right, everything else just falls into place. One of the ladies said, and I was like, it's exactly what you said when you were on our show and we're talking with Miriam. It's when you get it right, everything is easier. But if you spend too much time thinking about it, you end up not doing anything, and then you will probably not find the right model.
Mm-hmm.
So they were using kind of different words, but it was, the same. And they were talking about if you model it because they were talking about atomic content. So you should have content pieces that can work on its own, but also then be, put together with other pieces to form new content. And then again, one of the ladies was like, but if you make it too atomic, too perfect, nobody is going to be willing to keep that updated. You don't want to update content in a million different places just to get one article out the door. So I really, it's very, but I guess it's newer in that area of or that industry area. I don't know what we call it. For content people, it's kind of a new concept. So they're kind of discovering the same things that we have been discovering when we do data modeling.
I mean, in the end, it's data modeling, isn't it? Content is also just data, but yeah. But I guess they have a more of a author perspective or content creator perspective, and not a engineering perspective on the things. So yeah.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say as well, because I mean, even though it's annoying when you have, isn't it we call it too normalized, if our data is very split up and nothing is ever repeated or in more than one place. It's annoying for our code because you have to grab pieces of data from everywhere. But I'm imagining it's even more annoying when the content, it's actually updated by a human, right? They actually go into these systems and update. Yeah. And if you have to then, run around and click yourself through into all of these different models and then add some data there and some content, as they call it, there and some content there, then that gets to be annoying. So it's definitely from the author kind of perspective. So, yeah,
totally.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah, and then I have some new customers for POW. I haven't exactly checked. I think it's 2.
Nice.
Which is
fun. People are still signing up. That's great.
People are still signing up, and some of the people at the conference were like, "Aren't you I saw some of those POW streams?" I was like, "Yes, that's me."
Nice. Getting recognized.
Getting recognized at the watch party in Oslo. It doesn't feel like a big
lot of deal. Gatsby people around, or not that many, or
they were so negative. It was no. I met one guy from Sanity. Actually, he was like, "Oh yeah, I love Gatsby," and he told us about some sites that he'd made in Gatsby. I think he was one of their developer relations people. But we met some people from other companies that were where I'm like, haven't they networked they maybe haven't networked that much lately, because even though you think Gatsby is horrible, when I'm like, oh, I'm an independent Gatsby, or we are independent Gatsby developers, and your first response ends, we're so happy we got rid of that. It's been awful. It's like, okay, nice talking to you as well.
Nice talking to you.
This was the beginning of a very fruitful, discussion about frameworks. And I happen to know that this company was on like Gatsby version 2.1, like a really like old version of Gatsby, and then like they mentioned that they spent 5 months porting it to Next, and I'm thinking you could probably have spent like a little bit less time and just upgraded to a new version of Gatsby. But new things are fun.
Yes, but also, yeah. If you talk to people and they start a conversation like that, then yeah, you kind of know that they just are very opinionated, and if it didn't work out the first try, it's crap and it will never be good.
Exactly. But also, I don't think that it was this person's perspective, because I looked at the name tag and it was like not engineering lead, but like team manager, or engineering manager, or team lead, something like that. So I think that, the person was just like echoing what, developers have been saying when they are annoyed and frustrated, and not like really understanding but it was funny. I say things. I'm
like
not always
as well, right?
I'm not always that good, but like when I'm networking, I try to be, at least ask a question then, or be like, oh, we've had bad experiences, like what's your experience, or but not be like, just look at me.
This is crap. You're wasting your time.
And also there's like no way to get past that. It's like, okay then.
Yeah. Well, it was nice meeting you.
Actually
maybe
followed.
not so nice.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm happy with my choice, because if everybody's leaving, there's gonna be a ton of people who don't have 5 months to port their code base to something else, and I'll be their expert when they need to upgrade. So that's good. And you were okay.
Yeah.
European okay.
Yeah, I'm European okay, so I'm not particularly, it's not particularly good, but also not particularly bad. It's just like somewhere in the middle. Having a little bit of a headache today, feeling a little bit, I don't know, low on energy. Maybe I'm getting sick. I'm not feeling that bad, but something's going on. I don't know, whatever. But overall, it's been a great past week, or the last 2 weeks have been super great. And this week sounds like will be great as well. So we mentioned it last week in the episode with Priya. Userlist Inc. had its 4th birthday last week, so we celebrated.
We can clap
that
again. Woo! Celebrations all around.
So yeah, it's not the time when we started the project, but the day we incorporated and got everything like officially filed and stuff like that. So yeah, that happened last week, and to celebrate this, we did the Gather Escape the Island quest. So Gather is a online platform where you can basically, it's kind of like a video call combined with an RPG, top-down RPG. So you have like your small avatar and walk around and can pick up stuff and trigger stuff. And that Escape the Island is basically a virtual escape room where you have to solve a couple of quizzes. And it's based on collaboration. So we invited the entire team and we did the Escape the Island quest in, if I remember correctly, 49 minutes. So we managed to escape the island and not die. And we had a lot of fun. It was a little bit weird getting started. Like it took everyone a while to get used to this. But afterwards, it was a lot of fun. And in the last, I don't know, room or scene or whatever, basically at the end, when you're on the boat to leave, there was an embedded additional game, which was basically Pictionary remote Pictionary. So I think it was an embedded draw battle IO instance. So you log onto it, form teams of 2, and then one was drawing something and the other had to guess by typing it into a field. And what was also nice was that everyone else, like who wasn't in the teams, was able to watch. So we had a lot of fun. I was watching because I had to leave early for the recording. But I was just watching both parties like drawing and yeah, trying to figure it out. And we had a lot of fun and a lot of laughs. So we're definitely saving Draw Battle IO for future hangouts with the team.
But did you all have kind of laptops, or did some have iPad? I feel like if you have an iPad, you're kind of ahead of the get an unfair advantage. Or a trackpad.
I don't know.
No,
I don't think it makes that much a difference, because the key skill is picking the right thing to sketch or outline, so the other person knows what it is. It doesn't matter how fast you draw it. If you pick the wrong thing, it's just, no matter how fast you draw it, they will not get it.
That's true. I haven't played Pictionary in years. Maybe that could be a fun summer game. Maybe I should try and get like ERL Pictionary for the summer holiday.
Yeah,
yeah,
that might be fun. Like if you're a bigger team, that definitely is fun. Yeah. Other than that, want to celebrate. We finally crossed the 15K MRR mark 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Another woo! Which is, I mean, this is a celebration episode. I feel it's just like celebrations.
It's like celebrations. celebration.
Where's my confetti? I need some confetti to throw around. Not that anybody.
Right, where's my confetti? I actually have confetti somewhere.
You have confetti for these occasions?
Yes, exactly. I'm not going to throw it, but look here, there's confetti.
It was
reusable.
Glitter confetti, by the way.
Glitter balloon confetti. Yes.
Whoa. Okay. Sorry. 15K MR.
15K MR, which is in itself, it's just a number, but it's special because it was we're self-sustaining goal for the longest time. And it's still kind of true. So a year ago, this would have been our break-even point. Now we've hired a couple more people, so it's not anymore. But still, if we let everyone go, which we're not planning to, we'd be self-sustaining and we would be able to pay ourselves a little bit of money, pay all expenses, and keep everything up and running. So, in a way, the business would survive in this state. Let's put it that way. It wouldn't be fun, but it wouldn't die. So it's been a big milestone for us. And the interesting thing is, like, getting there took longer than, well, it definitely took longer in the grand scheme of things, but like just in the last couple of weeks leading up to it, like growth has been super slow in February, in March, and April. So we were basically watching the MRR chart every week and we're like, it's not moving. We're not getting any closer. It's not happening. And then in mid-April, we briefly crossed the 15K mark for like a day or two before dipping down again. And then it took until, basically another month until we crossed it again. And now it looks like we're staying above it, because then just within 2 weeks, we crossed 16K MRR as well, which, I don't know. It's also a nice milestone, but it's wild how some months there's no movement and some months it just increases way more. So yeah, anyways.
But in the communities that I follow, there has been a lot of talk about things slowing down over the last couple of months. So if you've had it be a little bit slow and then pick up, you're way ahead of the curve of what I'm hearing.
Stays that way.
And a lot of, because a lot of people are saying we're looking at the new recession, or at least some countries are looking at a new recession. And there was some talks about like a lot of, I'm thinking your email, if you're deep into your email provider, that is not one of the first things you're going to be canceling, because it's something
Hopefully
you will
not.
need. But a lot of, I would guess, like a lot of the kind of like indie hacker to indie hacker type services, or business to consumer services are easier to cancel when things are looking a little bleak.
True. Yeah.
So you might have seen, I don't know if you've looked at the breakdown, but you might have seen, no, you have the same price for everyone, right? Or
yeah, at the moment,
at the moment, because I was going to say, maybe you've seen like, people with lower plans canceling over people with higher plans that I've seen some other people talk about, but that wouldn't have been the case for you.
Yeah, true. At least, not until this week, because the other thing we're doing, and what I'm excited about, is we are probably launching the new pricing this week. If nothing else breaks or some unexpected things pop up, we've got everything in place to launch the new pricing tiers, which are again like actual different plans with different features and different limits and different prices. And it's going to happen this week. And it also feels like one of those things that took way longer than anticipated. But if you look at it, for the longest time, we just had one price. So we didn't need a lot of stuff like that. We didn't need a way to pick a plan while signing up. So we had to build that. We didn't have a way to change your plan because there was only one. Why would you change it? We didn't have any permission system for feature gating, locking stuff down in the UI, upgrade dialogues, all of that stuff. So it was a lot of work, but I feel confident that it was worth it. And we'll see how things play out in the next couple of weeks. But super excited to raise prices and hopefully fuel that MRR growth a little bit more by that.
It's going to be a rocket ship.
Fingers crossed. Oh, well, maybe not, but if it grows a little faster, that would be nice. Because there's a new break-even goalpost that we want to get to, and if we get there faster, then that would be good. Yeah. So a lot of celebrating and a lot of stuff looking forward to. The other thing that happened last week, and I'm sure you saw it as well. And this episode is not sponsored by Stripe, but Stripe released their new apps feature. And it's basically a new way to build Stripe integrations that also can be embedded into their dashboard. So previously, you basically have like separate apps that would just OAuth into each other and do API calls. But their new Stripe apps thing allows you to also embed widgets into their UI and provide additional context right in there.
So,
and it also sounds like
in the payment flow, or just inside of your admin dashboard?
At the moment, just in the admin dashboard. But now that you mention it, I guess maybe it's something they will extend to like the checkout as well. I'm not sure. But it sounds like a good idea. But for now, it will only be in the admin dashboard. But there's still obviously a couple of good ideas there that you can do. Like, for example, with user list, we could, like, if you're on a customer profile, show you their activity inside your app or their message history or just additional information that's not in Stripe. So we're excited about that aspect of it, but more exciting is that they launched a new marketplace with basically integration partners that have a Stripe app. And there's only like 30 or so companies in there right now. And that smells like an opportunity of just like, because their previous partner directory has hundreds of apps in there and integrations. But this one is a blank slate, almost a blank slate at least. So we're strongly considering to fast track the Stripe integration that we had in mind for basically forever. And do the extra work of like building a Stripe app around it as well. Just to be an early player in that marketplace, and hopefully get some more eyes on the product by that. I'm not entirely sure how it will play out, because whilst the Stripe apps thing definitely unlocks new possibilities, it's also so much more complicated, at least in my books, because I spent an entire day just like trying to figure out how the authentication flow would work, because they're essentially flipping things around. Previously, we'd had a button in our application that then does an auth connect dance with Stripe, and you get an API key and do stuff via the API. And it sounds like, and it looks like, they just flipped that around entirely. So instead of userlist OAuthing into Stripe, we now have to build a Stripe app that OAuths into userlist and just like changes everything. So it's a lot more work.
So as a customer of both, I would go into Stripe and then I would hit like integrate with user list from within my Stripe dashboard, instead of kicking that off on your integration page.
Yes, exactly. And then you'd click a button in Stripe, then you get into user list where you confirm that you want to connect Stripe. Then you get back to Stripe, and then the Stripe app would do a couple requests to the user list API to set things up for you. So I'm not entirely sure if I like that new approach, because it definitely has more moving pieces in there. But again, it also unlocks more possibilities and more flexibility, I guess. But it's a lot more work, and it looks like I have to learn React to actually do this.
Oh no!
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's just the way to go. Like, that's the only way they allow you to write those app things. So there's no way around it. But yeah, that's what's been going on.
You can do it. You can do it.
I will definitely ask for your help a lot. Yeah, but before we get into that area, we are finishing up the pricing stuff, and then launch that this week, and then let's see how far we get within the next 2 weeks or so to launch a Stripe integration. Because again, like, there are a couple of moving pieces, and yeah, userless has to become an OAuth provider now, which I didn't have on the roadmap for the next couple of years. I don't know. So it's more work than it was before, but it sounds like it might be a good opportunity. So yeah, that's what's been going on. Lots
of stuff. I'm happy we do this, because like, now I was thinking back, like 2 weeks, what has happened? I even I was like, oh, there's been so many days off, and I almost forgot that I'd gone to this conference, and it's good to sit down and have a little bit of a look and talk through a reflection. I don't know. I'm really bad at that. Like, I'm really bad at remembering both good and bad stuff, actually. So, I mean, in some ways it's probably good. But in other, I'm like very much like moving forward. And it's nice to remember that, oh, I did nice things. Like, I did have days off. We did fun stuff. It's like, remember that, because otherwise it could be a little, too in the moment sometimes as well. If that's a thing. That's a thing. I don't know. I guess that's it.
Yep, that's it. See you around the interwebs.
The interwebs. Yay! Bye.
Bye.